Your brand or business online reputation is one of the most valuable assets that you have as a business owner. What people say about you online actually builds customer trust. It impacts your sales and influences your long-term success. Welcome back to the Digital Success for Business podcast. I'm your host, Leanne Cohen, the Digital Success Coach and owner of Marketing Leap. And if you're an entrepreneur looking to grow your business online without the overwhelm, you're in the right place. Welcome back to the Digital Success for Business podcast. I'm your host, Leanne Cohen, the Digital Success Coach and owner of Marketing Leap. And if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner looking to build and protect your brand, this episode is a must listen. Reputation management isn't just about handling crises. It's also about proactively creating and shaping the public perception of who you are and what you stand for, all while building resilience against negative feedback. Which I can tell you now, no matter how great you are at what you do, it will happen. So let's get started. In today's episode, we are going to cover how to monitor your brand online and stay informed of what's being said about you, the role of content creation in shaping and maintaining a strong online presence, why engagement matters and how to create and build a loyal, supportive audience, and then finally, any key legal considerations to protect your brand from harmful misinformation. So by the end of this episode, you'll have a clear plan to protect and enhance your brand's reputation, ensuring that your business remains trusted and credible. So let's get started. Firstly, it's important to remember your reputation is ultimately based on perception. In fact, perception plays a pivotal role in shaping the overall image and success of your brand or your business. It's the core basis to your brand message, your vision, and the values that you uphold as a business owner. So the perception of your brand is actually a delicate balance between what you communicate and then how it's actually received by your audience. So by ensuring that your brand message, your vision, and the values that you stand for and against as a business owner are clearly put into words and shown in your actions, you create a strong positive perception that can take your brand to long-term success. It also gives you a fantastic benchmark when it comes to reputation management, as you are crystal clear on what it is that you stand for and what you're all about as a business owner and as a brand. So reputation management actually starts with awareness. You can't manage what you don't monitor. Every business should have a system in place to track mentions, reviews, and discussions about their business and their brand. So here's how to stay on top of your online presence. Firstly, you need to Google yourself regularly. It's not egotistical, but you need to search for your business name and key personnel at least once a month. Use different search engines to see what appears in various rankings, and yes, you can even ask ChatGPT using the search function if you have the paid version. Look beyond the first page. Negative content can quite often be buried in search results that can still be found by potential customers. The next thing that you can do is set up Google Alerts. Now, Google Alerts is a free tool that has been around for quite a while, pretty much as long as Google's been around, that notifies you when your brand or selected keywords are mentioned online. So you can use variations of your brand name, product names, industry-specific terms that you can actually track. And it's also a fantastic way of generating content topics specific to your business. Monitor your social media mentions. You can use tools like Hootsuite or BrandWatch to track brand mentions across social platforms. And there's quite a few other options out there now, such as Birdeye, Thrive, Podium. Trustpilot is a really good one, and Bright Local. So pay attention to both tagged and untagged mentions. Not all feedback is directed at you, so don't go looking for negativity. The next thing you need to do is actually track your online reviews. So regularly check your Google reviews, Trustpilot, and Facebook, as well as any industry-specific review sites that you might belong to. Now the big elephant in the room, negative reviews. Negative reviews that are left unaddressed and ignored and unanswered can seriously damage your credibility. It's important to remember that potential customers are reading this, so you need to be respectful, but keep it factual. As a side note, in the 11 and a half years that I've been running my agency, I've only ever once called a client and told them to get on the phone to their lawyer. So it's not something that you really need to stress about. The next thing you need to do is monitor forums and blogs, because customers often discuss brands on Reddit, Quora, and even niche industry blogs. So checking in even once a month is important. And make sure that when you do engage, you engage with discussions professionally, respectfully, and again, factually when necessary. Leave the emotion at the door, regardless of how devastating a review can be. If you find negative mentions, please avoid reacting emotionally. Assess whether a response is needed, and if so, make sure that it's measured and professional. The more high-quality content you produce, the more control you have over what people find when they search for your business. Again, this comes back to the starting point of your brand message, vision, and the values that you stand for and against. And you'll actually hear me mention this quite a few times, because as a business and a brand, this gives you the basis for the words that you use, how you speak, and how you actually show up online. So here's how to strengthen your online presence through content. The first thing you need to do is create authoritative content that shows your expertise. And I'm not going to lie, it's one of the reasons that I have this podcast. You can also write blog posts, white papers, or case studies that show your knowledge and your experience. People love to see results, and case studies are fantastic for that. Regularly publish fresh content on your website to maintain visibility. Now, you can also check out a recent episode on SEO that I did for even more tips on how to do this effectively. The next thing when it comes to content is to use video and visual content. Videos are the top performer in search rankings and social media, regardless of what platform, and they build trust faster than text alone. So consider customer testimonials, behind-the-scenes insights, or even explainer videos when it comes to your business or your products. And remember, people want to do business with people, regardless of how shy or introverted you actually are. Optimize your content for search engines. By doing this, you can actually use relevant keywords to ensure that your content appears when people search for your business and your brand. Again, check out the SEO episode because I go into a bigger detail about long-tail keywords and why they're so effective. Keeping your website structured ensures positive content ranks higher than any potential negative press. The next thing, or the next step that you can do, is encourage customer-generated content or user-generated content, as it's known in the social media circles. Ask satisfied customers to leave reviews and testimonials, because people are really funny. They'll often not believe what you have to say about your business, but they'll believe a complete stranger they've never met and they don't know, simply because that person took the time out to leave a review. From there, you can share any positive user-generated content onto your social media platforms. Tell your followers how amazing your clients think you are, because no one else is going to. Next step is to maintain a strong social media presence. Stay active on platforms where your audiences engage the most. And if you're not sure where you need to spend your time, I've got a fantastic PDF download that gives you a breakdown based on demographics, industry, and even what type of content, depending on what you prefer to create. So I'll put the link to that below this recording. Consistently reinforce your brand's values and messaging. This is why I keep talking about your brand message, vision, and the values that you stand for. As Simon Sinek is known for saying, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So by regularly publishing and managing your content, you can prevent negative stories from taking hold. Remember, your brand is what others say about you when you are not in the room, and you need to control that perception. A well-maintained online presence makes it harder for unfavorable stories and negative stories to actually dominate any kind of search results. Now, the next strategy is an engagement strategy. And engagement plays a crucial role in reputation management. Again, people want to do business with people, so don't post and run. Build a great brand. A great brand and business builds trust with its audience and strengthens its community. Now, key engagement strategies include responding to feedback professionally, whether it's positive or negative, So always acknowledge the positive and the negative feedback and stick to your brand voice. Responding to complaints shows you value customers and want to resolve issues. As I mentioned before, I've had more clients earn new customers because of how they've handled negative feedback than positive a lot of the time. Use it as a tool to show your expertise or systems. Now, when it comes to addressing negative reviews, do it constructively. A well-crafted response can turn a dissatisfied customer into a loyal advocate. Avoid generic apologies. Instead, you need to offer solutions. The next step is to build relationships with your audience. Engage in discussions on LinkedIn, Twitter, or industry-specific platforms. And make sure, though, that you actually set yourself a timer. Give yourself half an hour at a set time each day to make it a consistent practice to go in and engage with your audience and people that are online following you. Participate in Q&A sessions and live videos to establish direct communication with your followers and your audience. The next thing you can do is encourage advocacy. So reward brand loyalty by engaging with top followers and customers. A strong community of advocates or raving fans can actually help defend against negative sentiment. Reputation is built over time, and engagement is a huge part of that process. So the more you interact authentically, the stronger your brand's perception will be. And remember, the wrong response or simply sticking your head in the sand and ignoring negative sentiment can very, very quickly destroy a reputation that you've spent years building. Now, the final thing to think about is the legal considerations when it comes to reputation management. Legal issues can arise when misinformation, defamation, or privacy breaches affect your brand. Understanding how to handle these situations is vital. As I mentioned earlier, in the 11 and a half years of running a digital marketing agency, I've only ever once had to call a client and tell them to get onto their lawyer. So the reviews and the posts that went up were of such a nature that actually even Google and Facebook removed them. And yes, there is an option to report reviews on both Google and the other platforms and ask for them to be taken down. But you need to make sure that you can prove that they're malicious. So here are the key areas to be aware of when it comes to the legalities of your online reputation. Understand the defamation laws. If false statements harm your reputation, you may have legal grounds to challenge them. The next thing is you've got to seek legal advice before taking action. Protect your intellectual property. Monitor unauthorized use of your brand's name, logo, or content. And if you don't have IP trademarks, get them. You spend years building a business and a brand, so make sure you protect it. This then protects you if you ever have to take action against impersonation or misuse. The next thing you need to do is understand the privacy and data protection laws, whether it's in Australia or whichever country that you're in, and ensure that your business complies with the GDPR if you operate in Europe and Australian privacy laws. Make sure that you have privacy policies in place, especially on your website, to protect customer data and to maintain trust. And have a policy to handle fake reviews or slander. If a competitor or troll is spreading false information, report it to the relevant platform. Every platform has a way of reporting, and yes, I've actually had slanderous reviews taken down, so it can be done. Every platform has a way of reporting negative reviews, and yes, I've had slanderous reviews taken down, so it can be done. And quite often, the person will take it down themselves if they see a well-written reply that negates what they've been saying. But if necessary, you can issue legal notices. Now, set terms and conditions for your online engagement. Have clear guidelines for social media interactions and for user-generated content, because this, once again, ties into your brand message and your brand voice. So if you don't have brand guidelines, let's talk, because this area is vital when it comes to online reputation. So, of course, remove harmful content that violates your policies wherever you can and when you have access to it. Legal consideration should be part of any brand protection strategy. So knowing your rights and acting within the law ensures that your reputation stays intact. So to sum it all up, managing your online reputation isn't just about reacting to negative feedback. It's about proactively shaping how your brand is perceived. By monitoring mentions, creating positive content, engaging with your audience, and understanding your legal rights, you can build a strong, resilient reputation that supports long-term business success. And remember, reputation takes time to build, but it can be lost very, very quickly. Stay ahead by staying engaged, create value, and address concerns professionally. And if you've found this episode helpful, please subscribe to the Digital Success for Business podcast for more strategies. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn for regular insights. And until next time, keep building, keep protecting, and keep growing. Thanks for tuning in to the Digital Success for Business podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on YouTube for even more tips.